The overnight shift. Marcus had worked retail for 5 years, but the overnight shift at MegaMart was his first graveyard schedule. The pay was better, time and a half for 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., and the work seemed simple. Stock shelves, help late-night customers, keep the store secure. Pretty quiet after midnight, his supervisor Janet explained. Mostly truckers and insomniacs. You'll get used to it. MegaMart was a 24-hour superstore that felt like a small city under fluorescent lights. During the day, it bustled with customers, but at night, it became something else entirely. Marcus's first week passed quietly, but during his second week, he started noticing the regulars. Margaret, an elderly woman, came in every night around 2 a.m., walking slowly through the store with an empty cart, never putting anything in it. When Marcus tried to help her, she looked right through him. Robert, a man in his 50s, would stand in electronics every night at 3:30 a.m., staring at the television wall in the same khakis and blue shirt, leaving at exactly 4:15 a.m. And Sarah, a young woman who appeared in the pharmacy section around midnight, always looking panicked, always searching for something she never found. When Marcus asked Janet about the regular customers, she frowned. We don't have regular night customers. Maybe 5 people total come in during your shift. Are you getting enough sleep? Marcus started documenting their routines and researching the store's history. MegaMart had been built on the site of Riverside General Hospital, demolished in 2003. The electronics section was where the ICU had been. The pharmacy area was the pharmacy. 3 names appeared in newspaper archives about the hospital's final days. Margaret Foster, 73, died during surgery while the understaffed hospital was closing. She had wandered the halls confused, looking for nurses who had been transferred. Robert Chen, 54, a hospital maintenance worker who died of a heart attack in the ICU while watching news coverage of the closure. Sarah Williams, 28, a pharmacy resident who died of an overdose after learning she'd lose her job when the facility closed. All 3 had died during the hospital's final month, trapped in their last routines, replaying their final moments. These spirits weren't vengeful. They were lost, still trying to complete interrupted tasks. Marcus decided to help them find closure. Margaret, you're looking for the nurses, aren't you? He said gently when she appeared. She looked at him, really looked for the first time. They said they'd be back, but they never came. I need my medication. The hospital closed, Margaret. You don't need to look anymore. He spent weeks talking to all 3, learning their stories. Margaret had been a retired teacher. Robert had worked 20 years maintaining the hospital. Sarah had dreamed of becoming a clinical pharmacist. Marcus helped them understand what had happened, assuring Margaret that the nurses had found good jobs elsewhere, telling Robert his work had mattered, explaining to Sarah that her colleagues had successful careers. The future she could have had too. Gradually, the 3 spirits began to appear less frequently. Margaret's wandering became more peaceful, less frantic. Robert started looking away from the television screens occasionally. Sarah's searching became less desperate. One night, Margaret approached Marcus during his shift. I think I understand now, she said. The hospital did close, didn't it? And I died there. Marcus nodded gently. Yes, but that doesn't mean your life didn't matter. You helped thousands of students during your teaching career. You made a difference. I did, didn't I? She smiled, and for a moment she looked solid, alive. Thank you for helping me remember. That was the last night Marcus saw Margaret. Robert took longer to accept his situation, but eventually he too found peace. I kept that place running for 20 years, he told Marcus during their final conversation. That counts for something. It counts for everything, Marcus assured him. Sarah was the most difficult to help, but eventually she too found resolution. I wanted to help people with medications, she said sadly. I wanted to make sure they were safe. You still can, Marcus told her. Every conversation we've had, you've taught me something about caring for people who are struggling. That knowledge doesn't die with you. The last night Marcus saw any of the spirits, all three appeared together in the center aisle of the store. They looked more solid, more peaceful than he had ever seen them. "Thank you," Margaret said, "for listening, for helping us understand." "For not being afraid of us," Robert added. "For caring about our stories," Sarah finished. Then they were gone. Marcus continued working the overnight shift at MegaMart for another year, but he never saw the three spirits again. The store felt different, quieter but also more peaceful. He had helped three lost souls find their way to whatever comes next. He eventually moved to day shift and then to a different job entirely, but he never forgot the three people who had taught him that sometimes the living and the dead are not so different. Both can feel lost, confused, and in need of someone who will listen to their stories and help them find meaning in their experiences. Years later, when Marcus heard people dismiss ghost stories as nonsense, he would think about Margaret, Robert, and Sarah. He had learned that hauntings aren't always about fear or vengeance. Sometimes they're just about people who died before they were ready, who need help understanding what happened to them and finding peace with their unfinished lives. And sometimes all it takes is someone willing to listen and remind them that their lives mattered, even after they ended.